Always lying to me. Why? You lying so much.
Why? Fake facts number 2. The NCC said they stood up to the DA following theft and corruption allegations in connection with a 500 million emergency tender for repairing staircases on council flats. The truth is that this is a complete lie, and the NCC has lied so much about this that they have begun to believe their own lies. But let's start from the beginning with the two tenders. Tender 357Q-2018-2019 and 243Q-2016-2017. Tender 357Q was awarded to Good Hope Construction, but they lost the 400 million rand tender due to an appeal in 2020. Understandably, this was a massive blow to the company. It was reported that Good Hope Construction believed they lost the tender because the construction company appealed the tender. The construction company also tendered for the contract in 2019 and was a direct competitor. Good Hope approached the city to complain and a forensic investigation was initiated, but this wasn't sufficient for the company. Soon afterwards, a family friend of the company who would later become an NCC councillor along with an executive director from Good Hope would open a complaint with the police about tender fraud. The tender they believed was compromised was Tender 243Q-2016-2017, a tender awarded to the construction company a few years prior. The timing and the fact that an executive director from the company would be listed as a state witness for this case creates the impression that the motivation behind this complaint was not to uncover tender fraud but rather revenge.
That's suspicious.
Back to Tender 357Q. Good Hope Construction decided to take the city to court over Tender 357Q in 2022. The company attempted to get the report for the tender twice without success, and shortly afterwards the NCC would start acting as their mouthpiece, demanding the report without actually submitting any formal request for the report. But the truth is that the NCC didn't uncover any tender fraud in this case, and nobody has been arrested linked to this tender. The NCC was only used by a construction company who had a score to settle and wanted their hands on the report of the cancelled tender.
I don't know. I think that's a bit dodgy, mate.
Back to Tender 243Q. In late 2022, the construction company directors and 2 city employees were arrested for this tender. They were arrested for allegedly inflating 2.5 million rand roof replacement invoices and weren't involved with the DA as private contractors and non-political city officials. This was linked to the complaint registered in 2020. The case hasn't yielded any convictions, but it has seen its fair share of drama, with harassment claims by a witness, SAPS lacking evidence, NPA being pressured to act, police meddling, and only time will tell if this leads to anything.
Always